What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to another Resplendent review. Today I'll be taking a look at Brave Veronica. I'm gonna be going over the builds that you can run on her, and at the end, I'll have a special bonus segment which a brave hero like her definitely deserves. So Brave Veronica is a cavalry healer with Hild's Golf as the preferred weapon. This has got the Dazzling Staff effect built in, so she just wants to use Wrathful Staff in her slot B, or even use Poetic Justice, which we do have now. And after combat, if she attacked, she can inflict -4 to all of these stats of the foe, and also any kind of foe in 2 spaces of them, and also gives the visible buff of +4 to all of these stats to herself and allies in 2 spaces. So with this effect, she can basically simultaneously buff up herself and her allies and also debuff the enemy. But unfortunately, this is going to be a bit of an undercooked effect, especially for a brave unit at this point in the game. She does have her weapon refine, and this does give +3 attack and speed to allies in 3 spaces, so it's basically a better drive attack speed in a way, and it also inflicts -3 defense and resistance debuff on any foe in 3 spaces of her. So it's like a defense and resistance hold skill in a way. So her weapon refine is not the most insane one compared to like Brave Hector of that same batch, who did have a resurgence after his weapon refine. Brave Veronica was really solid at the time of her release, but when it came to her weapon refine, she didn't really get that solid of a refine compared to the other units, and we just have a lot better healers nowadays, like Duo Elise for example, and even Duo Elise can struggle at times because she doesn't really have any kind of damage reduction piercing, or she's not able to take on many of the null counter disrupt tanks. So unfortunately, Brave Veronica got the short end of the stick, and because she's a cavalry unit, she's not going to be having access to a lot of the skills, and she's also a healer on top. So the Resplendent stats do help her, and it pretty much gives her the offenses of a Book 5 healer in a way, as you can see with the comparison. But unfortunately, she's not going to be having enough resistance to make use of something like ploy skills. She ends up having the bulk where she doesn't really have the highest defense or even the highest resistance, so it's a bit awkward. Because Groom Soul, as you can see, can run the ploy skills and still function offensively, whereas Veronica is not going to be having nowhere near as much resistance. And there are not too many slotsy skills as it is for a cavalry healer, so not a lot of options that you can choose from. But still, if you're trying to build her up, then you can simply give her attack speed catch as the slotty skill. At the moment of making this video, this is pretty much the best slotty skill that you can get, and it's available in the Divine Codes. And for her slots, you can go with odd or even recovery, so it can just support the allies even more and heal them up at the start of every even or odd turn. And you can also run attack speed catch for just stacking up the offenses. So building her up is pretty straightforward. Now we do have Poetic Justice, so it's something that you can give to her from Fallen Maria and also get Holy Panic at the same time. So Holy Panic is going to be a 2 cooldown special, which is a damaging special. So it's a pretty decent special for her, and for her slots, you can try and run a Joint Drive skill because she does have the drive effect built in her weapon refine, so doubling down on that is useful. And as it is, not many available and easy to get options for her slot C other than the recovery skills or the Joint Drive skills, and the speed variant is present in the Divine Codes. And you can just run her with Blade Session to maximize her offenses. Plus speed IV is going to be the main IV you should be going for. And then if you're going to be ascending an asset, then attack is going to be the natural choice. And finally, if you want to run her at max investment, then I would say that Seaside Parasol is a lot better weapon for the actual combat, because it can inflict the guard effect on the nearest foes in 5 spaces, and then it can also give you +5 attack and speed in combat, and also inflicts the resistance debuff on the foe, depending on the number of bonus and penalty effects that are active on them. So it can go up to -16 resistance debuff, which is definitely pretty good for functioning as an offensive healer. You do lose out on the support that her weapon refine can provide, but honestly, at this point in the game, the support that she provides is simply just not enough. It's not going to be standing out that much compared to a lot of really stacked support units that we have got now. So it's a weapon available from Summer Laura Shell, and you can also run inside attack speed in her slot C, which is a new option now, and at least range cavalry units can have access to it. So you can just run that and get the extra stats, and this is pretty much going to be the max investment build if you're a big Brave Veronica fan. Now unfortunately, Brave Veronica is one of those units who did win Choose Her Legends, but she came in the second position, and at that time she didn't really get any kind of preferred skill. So if I had to give her a better refine and her preferred skill, then this is what I would do. So for her weapon, I'm still going to be having the Dazzling Staff effect, and now she's able to get +5 to all of her stats in the combat, and also the null follow-up effect. And instead of having the after combat debuff and buffing, I'll just make it so that she can inflict the -5 debuff to all of these stats and the panic status to the closest foes in 5 spaces, and then also in the foes in 2 spaces of them. So it's kind of similar to Summer Shumir or even Duo Mark in that regard. So she can debuff the enemies a lot easily, and she can also give herself and the allies in 2 spaces the +5 buff to all of their stats and also the special charges status. So this is going to be helping her trigger the 2 cooldown specials as a healer, and it also allows her to support even better with this kind of weapon. And then for the weapon refine, I'll give her another round of +5 to all of her stats, and also giving her true damage based on 20% of her speed so that she can have better damage output. And then I would have Drive Spectrum, which allows you to give +4 to all of these stats to allies in 3 spaces. And then she also has the Spectrum Hold skill built in, so she can debuff -4 to all of these stats of the foe if they're within 3 spaces of her. So this allows her to function much better as a supportive unit, and also by just being an annoying unit who can debuff the enemies. And this is definitely going to be taking you back to the Cav line days, where Brave Veronica was definitely one of the most dominant units that could be run on a Cav line. And then for her preferred skill, I would give her Lonely Air as the slot-based skill. So this is going to be having the Wrathful Staff built in, and it's a natural upgrade from her Wrathful Staff slot-based skill. And this also gives her Canto 1. So the fixed Canto is going to be amazing for a healer and a Cavalier like her. And then in the combat, she's able to get +4 to all of her stats, and also gets the Null Guard, which is going to be having good synergy with the special charges status of her weapon. And then just like Emblem Veronica's Emblem skill Contract, I would pretty much allow her to refresh any kind of ally in 2 spaces of her with the highest HP, but the penalty is going to be the gravity status on them after getting refreshed. So if you've played Fire Emblem Engage, then this totally makes sense, because Contract is pretty much like a dance, but then you can only move any kind of spaces. So that is going to be the same thing here, and it allows Veronica to function as a much more unique brave hero. And she's a brave hero, so obviously having things that other heroes don't really have and standing out is going to be really important. So that's pretty much what I've tried with her slot-based skill. So she can pretty much follow the footsteps of Emblem Veronica, and then her Close Guard skill is going to be getting upgraded to Joint Drive Speed, which is a lot better with her weapon. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about my theory craft regarding her re-refine and also a remix, if you would have liked to have this kind of slot-based skill or not. I'd love to hear that in the comments, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and a comment, helps you tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more free videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as the Wrathful Staff effect against Mystic Boost enemies. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.